son. I was pregnant with him, and a huge mole, about 2 inches in diameter, kind of strange looking, came up on my side here. I can feel it. I can feel it under this dress. Okay. And so instantly I start to panic. I go into some worry mode of, oh my gosh, I'm bringing another baby into the world, and do I have skin cancer? All these thoughts went flooding through my head. So I went to my physician, and she's pretty humorous, and she goes, it was actually my physician's PA. I know them all really well, and she goes, "Do you have some Scottish blood?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, you're just lucky that thing is not on your face." So fast forward, uh, I was 50, how old was I? 56, almost 57. And I was going through menopause, and then all of a sudden this mole popped up in the center of my forehead. Not 2 inches, thank goodness. Like, I don't know, a half an inch, but that's still really big. Right here, right here in the center of my forehead. You can still see it faintly. Like if I go into the light here, you can still see a little, but it's actually faded over time. It was pretty dark. If you go back and look at pictures of me from those years, in fact, one of my clients who came to work with me, she thought that I was Hindu because I had this dot on the center of my forehead. So what that PA said that day actually came true. The mole was on my forehead. The anxiety over how we look, over, when I got the thing here, I'm like, oh no, I can't wear my two-piece bathing suit anymore because I have this big mole on the side of me. Um, the way it plays with our vanity. If you have stress fat in your torso, like that can cause you so much anxiety. If you have, your face is inflamed, if your skin is inflamed, like my eczema all over my hands was so inflamed, um, we can spend hours and hours and hours worrying about how we look. In our old house, the one we raised our kids in, lived there 30 years. We actually didn't have a full-length mirror anywhere but in the closet when you go out of the house. So like you could put your coat on and just kind of check, but there was no good lighting or anything. So we didn't have very big mirrors at all. And when we moved here to this new home, to this condo, there's huge mirrors in the bathroom. I never spent much time like looking at myself because it was just like the little mirror over the sink. And so the first time I was like in that bathroom, I was like, whoa, honestly didn't know that I looked like this, right? I remember being in Vegas and like the whole wall was mirror, and I'm like, oh, wow. So I never really spent much time like really thinking about how I looked. I just like got dressed, go, do my thing. But I noticed that the bigger mirrors, I was spending more time like paying attention to how I look, and little worries about, oh, look at this stress fat, or look at this menopause fat or whatever. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's just taking up way too much time. So in doing an assessment of something that I do in my retreats, I learned this from one of my coaches, is what are you tolerating? I thought, oh, I'm tolerating kind of beating myself up looking in these mirrors. That's just such a waste of time. And if you have any anxious or worried feelings about it, you're probably triggering the stress response. So do you have some worries about how you look? I think back to like especially my grandparents, but my parents too. They just did their thing, and I don't know how much time they actually spent thinking about how they looked or how they appeared. And now we have screens. Now we have, voice call or picture calls. We call people and we're on FaceTime. We see each other. Is that causing even more anxiety for people? I think it is. All the comparisitis things. It's like you post your picture. Is it good enough? How many times you get a picture taken, you're like, oh, wait, let me make sure. Like I'm not like double chin or there's some horrific pictures of me out there. And I just think it's something to laugh about instead of getting so worried about. So I wanted to bring that forward today because if you have concerns about your weight, how you look, That can just be something constantly triggering your stress response. I did a survey once of a few executives, business owners, CEOs, executives, and one of their major stressors was their gut, like their belly fat. That was a major stressor. And when I talked to a couple of them, got deeper on it, it was like they're fine if they're at the meeting and there's a table. But when they stand up, if they're carrying extra baggage, as one of them called it, um, they're self-conscious about it. So it's another way you can tease this out. Are you self-conscious about something about you? When this mole popped up on me, I was quite self-conscious at first, like for months about it. And then I just kind of let it go. But for months, I had this little bit of tension. So with pressure-free method, we're looking for those tensions. We're looking for those things that are causing us that little bit of friction, that little bit of tightness. And if you experience that tightness, that puts you right on the edge to go into fight or flight. We don't think of it as fight or flight because we think, oh, I'm just a little tense here, a little nervous here, but that's actually what's happening. And so by first the notice, like notice when you first start thinking about it. If you look at yourself in the mirror, what are your thoughts? There's I think it's Louise Hay, but there's tons of coaches who will have you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself to help yourself develop that deep self-love. Um, and and instead, what most people are doing are like criticizing, like, is my hair out of place? Is my, what's going on here? You spend so much time like being critical about yourself. So that's another tension point to just kind of look at and and play around with. This we didn't I go back in time and think the only time you might see yourself in a mirror or in an image would be if you looked in the lake. And that's the story of Narcissus, like looking into the pond of water and seeing the reflection back. And so, yeah, it's just something to play with. You can be overweight or underweight. You can be all these things that you don't want to be or want to have on you, like my mole. And that can be this tension point. So you start to have that feeling, you're starting experiencing that. Um, I always just go straight to the belly. Like with this one, I'm going straight to the belly and relaxing those muscles. Doesn't mean we're sticking our belly out necessarily. We're allowing those muscles to relax like 360 degrees around, like the lower torso. If you can just relax that for a minute, that's going to give your brain a moment to say, okay, I'm not under attack here. It's like we're attacking ourselves, right? With this self-criticism. It's like, okay, so you have a moment. And in that next moment, I would smile. We don't smile enough, especially in North America. We do not smile enough. And so a smile is going to release neuropeptides to keep this brain thinking logically and not illogically. When we trigger the stress response, we have a lot of illogical thoughts. We pile on the worries. It's like we're in a looping phase that every single little worry that we ever have starts to build in there. We got to cut that. We got to cut that worry cord. There's an image for you. Cut the worry cord. And when you smile, like people don't even remember how we look. I shared about a month ago of how my coach told me to get extensions. My hair was a little short. I didn't like how it looked, so I got extensions. I cut them, I curled them. But before I even did that, they were like way low, like way down to here. And I put them in and went across to my neighbor's house. She had seen me the day before, and she's like, "Oh, your hair's so cute. How the heck did I grow a foot of hair?" Right? It was hilarious. People don't, we don't notice. We don't see. What do you really see? Can you even remember what your coworker was wearing yesterday? Most of us are not seeing all of that. We're so consumed with what we're trying to do that we don't really see people. You might see the mole because it was so prominent, right? Like my client. So, so you might see something, but let's hope by the grace of God that people are not as judgy as we are judgmental about ourselves. So smile is huge. And then maybe flip the switch, like actually do a motion This is the switch on your head, and you're going to flip it. And now you're going to say something nice to yourself, something positive to yourself. You're like, have a great day. I used to call my work phone when I was a symphony executive, and I would call and I would say, I would be solving some kind of problem in my head at like 3 a.m. So I just pick up the phone by the bed and I would call myself and I'd say, have a great day. It's hilarious. And notice it's a big phone. Uh, one day I had like a stack of those messages, and when I arrived at work and I'm listening to them, my assistant popped her head in and she goes, is that your voice? Are you telling yourself to have a great day? And go, every single message, right? What are we telling ourselves? Sometimes we are not our best friends. We are not our best friends. So how do you become your best friend? Now, constructive criticism is fine. If you need to give yourself a little kick in the butt and get out of the laziness that you don't want to be in, or really start to put some discipline into your life, like constructive criticism is great. But the negative, naggy criticism, the things we'll say to ourselves that you would never say to your best friend, like how do we become our own best friend? You become your own best friend the more and more you're not under the influence of these stress hormones. I'm going to say that again because I think it's really important. You become your own best friend when you are not constantly under the influence of these stress hormones, because these stress hormones have your brain go into a mode that is certainly not best friend talk. And that's why we will say things and do things that we regret later because we've been really mean to someone. I take Steve Jobs, this book's right behind me here. I mentioned him in my CEO book. One of the things that one of his best friends asked the biographer to ask him is, why are you so mean? Why are you so mean? He claimed to be a Zen Buddhist, to study Zen Buddhism. So why was he so mean to even perfect strangers? My guess is he was just continually, from sunrise to sunset, locked in the stress cycle, locked in the stress cycle of releases of stress hormones that just kept him in a mode that caused him to overreact to simple questions, overreact to even his best friends. So so he was unkind to himself and unkind to everybody else. It's rather incredible, but that to me is the root cause of why he got cancer in the first place and it came back. Like he was literally causing so much distress to his own being because he was constantly in this mode. And it's really hard to get out. So once you've triggered the stress response first thing in the morning, it's really your modus operandi for the whole day because of how long these hormones are affecting us. So it really takes a break. It takes breaking habits of reactions we've had for years, and they're generations old because we imitated anyone who we respected, anyone who we emulated, anyone who was caring for us. We picked up all these little habits. So we need to completely break it and go an entire day. Once we go that entire day, it's like that is flipping the switch. I call it the reset button. Like, let's set that reset button. And it's like even before we got to the point where our nervous system would react to our mother's hormones, okay? There was a time when we were extremely tiny that we didn't overreact. And we get to go back to that. And it's the secret to longevity. It's the secret to health. It's the secret to not messing up relationships and business propositions and negotiations and like all the things that get so messed up when we've triggered fight or flight. We behave in ways that are so unhelpful. So I hope this is helpful. And again, be gentle with yourself. I say that a lot to my clients, like because most of my clients are high achievers, they want to do it and they want to do it quickly and they want to, achieve. And the thing about pressure free is it took us years to get to this space. So what if, it's really only a few weeks or a few months to break it, but we need patience in order to break it. It's like